Hello everyone, welcome back once again for another exciting episode of This Week in Comics, episode 49.
49.
It's
almost 50.
It is, yeah. That in fact, next week, if my maths are correct, should be 50.
Excellent.
Exciting
we'll
times.
Work that out though, don't confirm that
Yeah.
in case your maths are wrong.
Unless we do a reboot, because that's all the rage in comics these days.
They love that.
Oh. Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Let's look at what's coming out. My first pick this week is two books.
Two for the price of
Two
one.
books. Immortal Hulk and Namor, but it's not really. It's Defenders prequels. So like Defenders 0 or a quarter each. It's probably best they just put the titles on like they did. But yeah, this is the best defense, which leads into the new rebooted Defenders book, which brings back the classic Defenders team.
Yeah, because say Netflix fans might be going, hang on,
yeah,
they're not the Defenders. No, they are.
They're the Street Defenders.
The original ones.
Yeah, the original Defenders. Or as Marvel used to call them, what we've got left. So the team includes Hulk, Namor, Doctor Strange, and Silver Surfer. Quite a powerful team.
Go team, yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Like Avengers.
Get the job done.
Sort of one god and a bunch of peeps. Defenders get the job done. So we've not had the Defenders in a while, unless you count the Bendis one, which was supposed to be more like the Netflix show. This is some classic Defenders. It's also nice because it means we're getting the Silver Surfer back, and it seems to be a while since we've had some good Silver Surfer stuff. I mean, it's not. It's been like 2 years, but no one's touched the character since.
He's not really been involved in anything.
No, he's just been on the sidelines. He had one annual, but that was set just generic past pick a time. So yeah, if you want to get back into Defenders, this is the time. There's 4 one-shots leading into the new Defender series, and the new issue 1 drops just before the end of the year.
Hooray.
So, Defenders.
Shazam is what I'm going to be talking about now. Issue 1, new Shazam comic by superstar writer Jeff Johns.
If you'd been hit by lightning when you said that, that would have been really convenient, funny, and then tragic.
Yeah, a lot of... Unless there were some chemicals behind me, then they could have poured on me. I'd have got super speed.
I think Shazam's already quite fast. How much do you want?
Everything.
Do you want a Legionnaire's flight ring to go with that as well?
You don't mind.
You can already fly. As you were.
So, if you read the new 52 version of the Justice League, you would have no doubt read the backup strips by Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, reintroducing Shazam into the world. Then he became a little member of the Justice League for a bit, and then...
Wore a hood for a bit.
Yeah, wore a hood. Then nothing.
Yeah.
Gone. Until now, Shazam. Issue 1. He's back, baby.
And he's at school.
He's saving the world and trying to pass maths. They've missed the S off. But yeah, Shazam's back. He's by Jeff Johns, who did all the Justice League stuff, did his reintroduction, and it was very good. Did you read it?
No.
No, Sid didn't read it, but I did, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. It brought all the Shazam family together, so all load of kids got Shazam-based powers.
See, I like Jerry Ordway's Shazam. It's quite dorky. It's quite like the Fawcett comics. It's like a comic from the past. Because it is actually now a comic from the past.
Really old, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
20 odd
30,
years.
30.
Oof.
Yeah.
But no, this looks good. It looks like a continuation of the stories from Justice League from a few years ago. So if you enjoyed that, you should be checking this out. And there's a film on the way as well next year.
I think that's why they did it.
You reckon?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know Jeff Johns likes the character, but with a movie on the way, time to get some books out. So we've got some graphics on the shelf when that comes out. So bit of contemporary Shazam. And you know, it's Jeff Johns. And the variants by Gary Frank.
Perfect.
That's the Doomsday Clock team. That also came out today. But you know what? We've got so much to cover. It's not featured in the video, except for just now when I said it's not featured in the video.
Yeah. So pick up some Shazam. Not Captain Marvel. That's now someone different.
Yeah.
Not to be confused.
There's a movie of that coming.
There is, yeah.
Convenient.
Shazam!
New book this week from Image, a new issue 1, but by Kieran Gillen, who's one of the kind of top UK... more indie writers.
Yep.
Doesn't do much Marvel anymore. Did for a while. Did loads of X-Men stuff.
Did.
This is Die issue 1, but they mean dice. As in
yes.
board
Plural
games.
Of dice.
Yes.
Die.
The plural of dice is die, or in America it's also the singular, isn't it? They just call it the die.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. Yeah. Die 1 or 2.
Every day's a school day.
It's weird. So I was reading this online thinking, wow, that sounds really original, and then saw the write-up at the end where Kieran Gillen goes, it's basically Goth Jumanji, and I went, yeah, no, that is just Goth Jumanji. So, bunch of kids, they're all grown up, kind of It meets Jumanji. Okay. I know they were growing up in Jumanji, the people in it. Goth Jumanji! So they started playing role-playing games when they were young, and they've left it 20 years later, and now they've got to continue the game, but the stakes are high, and they might die and stuff. So yeah. Well, the D&D thing's been really big the last few years. I think stuff like Rick and Morty and Stranger Things,
I love it.
Community did a lot to help. One of their best episodes was them playing Dungeons and Dragons, but they didn't cut to like scenes of them all dressed up. They were just sat at a table the whole episode. Nice. Really good, well worth watching. If that's your kind of bag, you might want to try Dice issue 1. Going to come in with another one real quick before your next pick.
Okay.
It's Star Wars Age of Republic Qui-Gon Jinn.
Hello there.
No, that's Anakin. No, Obi-Wan. It's one of them. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm not that excited about this book per se, but it's nice to see that Marvel are branching out from the classic trilogy. Yeah. They're doing a bit of stuff with the original guys because they did Darth Maul, but he's kind of everywhere
Everyone
now.
Loves him, don't they?
He's just So in the Age of Republic series, you've got lots of one-shots. Over the next few months, we have a Jango Fett special, we have an Obi-Wan Kenobi special.
Hello there.
And a Darth Maul. So everyone loves Maul. So, but it all starts here with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Nice one, Qui-Gon.
Get on some Star Wars. It hasn't been a jumping on point for Star Wars for a while because being issue 58 came out this week. That's kind of the longest running Marvel book for a long time.
I mean, he's been pretty much Qui-Gon since the prequel movie came out, hasn't he? Another book from Marvel.
You're holding a Marvel book.
I am.
Don't see this very often.
No, you don't. But no. I am now. It's Killmonger, issue 1. You all went to the cinema to see Black Panther. I know you did. Don't lie. And everyone in that loved Killmonger. And Marvel went, what's that? You all love Killmonger? There's your comic, lads.
Ta-da!
So yeah, it's a Killmonger issue 1. If you like your favourite villains, such as Killmonger. If you
think he was more in the right than Black Panther was in the film, and thought Black Panther was probably the most boring character in his own movie, then Killmonger. And it's very much based on his movie interpretation, isn't it?
Looks like him.
Got the hair.
Little scar. I don't know if he had all the scars previously. I've never really read anything with him in.
Must confess, I don't really remember Killmonger from the comics at all. But he was such a great villain in the movies. It's quite nice to see in issue 1.
Yeah,
so
looks nice.
Presumably a mini-series, 6 issues, something like that.
We all say it is.
Unless it sells really, really well, in which case it'll just become an ongoing without anyone knowing.
Brian Hill.
So, if Black Panther, Shuri, and Black Panther vs. Deadpool aren't enough for you, and you need a 4th monthly Black Panther universe book, Killmonger. It's an Image issue 1. You know how I love trying these and then waiting for the trade because I've got too much to read already. Oh, and I love an Image trade. Did you know we've got a table in store just of Image graphic novels that are £9 for the first 5 issues? So you can try.
It's brilliant.
And there's science fiction, there's comedy, there's fantasy, there's crime, there's horror. I'm looking at the table to see what else there is. But this week we've got a new issue 1 where everyone in the world has been frozen except for the protagonist who's just walking around trying to figure out why is everyone frozen and what can I do to help.
Interesting.
So that's quite an interesting high concept for me. I've read something similar from a UK group of creators who did something very, very similar where they froze the world just as a bomb was falling and the guy spent the next 70 years pulling everyone out of the city and then moving them to a safe distance, and then the bomb dropped, everyone was fine, the city was obliterated, and then the guy died of old age and no one knew what he'd done. So that was quite depressing, but it was kind of like an inversion of The Flash where everyone else just saw this guy whizzing around for 70 years. But no, he was just, time was paused. So yeah, it's a strong high concept. It's enough for me to try in issue 1. I'm going to give this a read, see what I think, and I'll make the promise that I always make where once I've read it, I'll leave a comment in the section below.
Let's have another issue 1.
Yes, because that's all that came out this week.
This time from DC. And it's a book that I didn't think I'd have any interest in. I know you haven't had a lot of interest in, but as it's come in, we've both gone, actually, it doesn't look too bad.
It's on my pull list now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Martian Manhunter, issue 1, he's back. He came back just after Dark Knight's Metal, didn't he? He was kind of reintroduced during that, and now he's in the Justice League where he should be. I always think he should be in the Justice League.
It's not Justice League without him. It's like Avengers needs a Vision. Who else is going to help you communicate with your teammates if you haven't got Martian Manhunter and or Vision?
Oh, that's right.
That's what they do, and they're both immaterial.
Yeah.
You know, as in they don't matter that much.
Hey, good one.
Clever.
But yeah, this looks nice. It's by Orlando. Is it Steve Orlando?
Yes, and he's done Martian Manhunter before, right? He did a series in the late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm not sure. I was reading earlier and he said Martian Manhunter is his dream project.
Probably not done it before then.
Yeah, and he was really pleased to be doing it. And it's a 12-issue maxi series. Lovely looking art, very it's got a cartoony edge to it, but it's very cool. Obviously, Martian Manhunter, if you don't know, he can shape change. So with this artist, he's done a bit of a redesign on the character, which I like.
And he loves hanging out with Man-Thing when he's scared.
There you go.
Because he's afraid of fire.
Of course.
You know, and Man-Thing, if you're scared and you're afraid of fire,
right,
you burn at the touch of Man-Thing if you've ever known fear. Which, like, that's stupid. Everyone's known fear.
Yeah.
Different universe.
Different universe.
Joke that didn't land, did it? There's two things that draw me to this book. One makes sense. One's kind of stupid. The first is this right up along the top from Tom King. Brilliant, bold, and bloody. So Tom King, he says more. That's not everything, but that's as much as I'm going to read. Could have read it all in the time that I've been explaining that I'm not going to read it all to save time. Tom King's write-up is enough for me to try a book these days, because Tom King, as you know, probably my favourite writer of the year.
Yes.
The other reason that I'm down for this, he's got his old forehead back.
He has. He looks good.
Yeah, he looks like John Johns. He doesn't look like, oh, I'm an alien. Yeah. He's a shapeshifter. He can look like whatever he wants.
But we like him looking.
Yeah.
How we like him looking.
Yeah.
He's doing some cop-based stuff again. He's got his little police badge on.
Yeah, he's a good cop, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
John Jones.
Martian Manhunter. It's a new issue one from Marvel. It's Winter Soldier. So they haven't really done that much with Bucky Barnes of late, which, given how popular he is in the films.
What was the last thing he really did? He was in Thunderbolts for a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah, they did a 5-issue Tales to Astonish miniseries right at the beginning of the Legacy numbering.
Yeah.
And then that just went away again. That was teamed up with Black Widow, I want to say.
It was,
yeah, I want to say Black Widow. So, yeah, it's nice to see him do stuff with the character. He looks a little bit nomad on his bike with his face all...
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a while since we've had it, so it's not good. But, you know, actually, I said it looks a bit nomad. Also looks a bit Renegade, if you remember that classic TV show.
Right. Bloke
on the road on his bike, righting wrongs, punching people in the face.
Bikers.
Hairy bikers.
That's what you're on about, right?
They're chefs, aren't they?
That's right.
Yeah, no, different. They could have guest spotted in it as villains, so quite easily.
Bucky's got a wheat.
He has, yeah. So written by Carl Higgins, which is quite good. That's enough for me to give it a quick look. Art by Rod Rees. I'm not amazingly familiar with it, but it's very nice. It's kind of got that, you know, when Bendis is doing more of an edgy crime book, it has a look like that. So we know from Ed Brubaker's run on Captain America, that's a style that massively works with Winter Soldier. So yeah, looking forward to giving this one a read. Nice one, Marvel.
Let's have another issue one.
Let's do it.
This time from Image and Mark Miller.
Oh,
it's Prodigy. This book looks pretty interesting. It's about a guy who is just brilliant at everything. He wants to learn something. For example, as a kid, he was getting bullied. He learned how to do martial arts by watching kung fu movies. The next day, beat their holy hell out of said bully.
The question I have, having read up on this book, is he more Lex Luthor or more Reed Richards?
Oh. Yeah, it sort of starts out as him as a kid. It jumps forward a bit, well, quite a bit actually, to him being an adult and being a very important man, because he is one of the smartest men in the world. People and governments and all manner of people come to him to help solve their problems. But he gets bored quite easily. Being the smartest man alive, you're gonna, if you know everything, you know, how are you going to stimulate yourself?
Got to mix it up.
Yeah, so it looks interesting. Mark Miller always does good stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, now he is the master of hyperbole, but Mark Miller described it as the best character he's ever created.
Oh, there you go.
So that's quite a high level for him to live up to, because he has created some really good comic characters over the years.
Yeah.
Of course, that's the front cover, but on the back, just as important,
Netflix.
This is the second Netflix book. So since Netflix bought Miller World, of course, any property he makes, instantly Netflix have the rights. So will we get a Prodigy movie down the line? They're already talking about Magic Order and stuff, so let's wait and see. I'll give you that back.
Thank you.
Yeah, good pick.
Thank you. Yeah, I knew a lot about it. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
Green Lantern issue 2 from Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp. We don't need to discuss it loads because there's been a lot in this week and we discussed issue 1 at length. Did you read issue 1?
No.
So you'll have missed a bit where the Guardians are going, oh, someone's messing with the books, our library.
Okay.
So the Guardians, Ganfett and that lot, they've got a complete library of the entire history of the universe and something's been changing them. And when they're discussing it, you do see the little blue logo with the dots of Dr. Manhattan. So, yeah, I blow hot and cold on Grant Morrison. I've said that many times. I loved half the issue. I was less in love with half the issue, but getting the Doomsday Clock thing involved with the Guardians acknowledging that something has changed the DC universe massively. Yeah, that's enough for me to keep reading.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, drags me in. They know how to get me.
Going to drag a lot of viewers in as well, that.
I think it will.
Let's look at some trade paperbacks.
Let's look at some trade paperbacks.
I'm going to look at one that is a collection of a classic story from DC. It's the New Teen Titans, The Judas Contract. Actually, when that was released, it was in Tales of the Teen Titans, not in the New Teen Titans. Little fact for you. Covered a few issues and an annual, and it was the first story that had the first appearance of Nightwing as well. But yeah, Judas Contract, very important story for DC and especially for Titans. The Titans TV show is starting on Netflix very soon, I do believe.
Yes, yeah. Of course, in America, it's on its own streaming service,
they've
but
got
here,
it. But yeah, we're getting it this month, from what I understand. So if you're going to watch that and you want to read some of the key Titan stories, Judas Contract is a pretty good place to start. Great story, a lot of emotion in it as well.
And what a creative team! Marv Wolfman, George Perez.
Amazing.
Don't need to look. We just know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of big events in this. It's one of the earliest DC books, because like, I came into DC later than I came into Marvel, and I didn't go back and check out lots of history of DC because Crisis. It felt like you didn't need to go back and do lots of. But this is one I did go back and do fairly early on, and it's an integral part of the DC universe.
I want the originals.
Oh,
God damn it, I want them.
got them in hardcover.
Oh, nice. But you can get it in softcover.
So it kind of feels like every week we recommend or talk about a Bendis comic, and
That's he's busy.
yeah, he is busy, and his name's got IS in it, which according to our cameraman, all the good comic writers have got IS in their name. So I just said Alan Moore and Stan Lee, and he just shrugged.
Carl Kessel.
Goldfish. That's got IS in the title as well. Goldfish is an interesting one because this is some of the earliest Bendis crime fiction. You've got to go back like 25, perhaps even 30 years to when he started working on this. So it's the precursor to Jinx, which is probably more well known from his indie work.
Yep.
But it's quite nice that since he's moved to DC, the Jinx World stuff has come with him. They're keeping it in print. So if you've not done Torso, Jinx, Goldfish, Fire, that's all still available now. And yeah, his crime roots were really, really good. Kind of you forget that's where he started off now because he's just become Mr. Superhero.
He certainly has.
Yep.
But he still likes to bring a bit of crime street level stuff into his books. Even Action Comics has got that sort of bit in there.
This is true.
He still keeps his finger in it.
But he also keeps up with the kind of more maniacal, like supervillains. Like it has been noted that he looks more like Lex Luthor nowadays, and when he was at Marvel, he looks a bit more like the Kingpin.
That's true.
So yeah, being ill and nearly dying will help you lose weight.
It will.
It's a great weight loss strategy.
We don't recommend it.
Not recommended. No, try not to. But he's still here with us.
Yep.
And he's still writing some really good comics. So well done, Bendis. You didn't die.
Nice work.
And because you didn't die, I recommend Goldfish. Right, so that's it for another week. Thank you very much for watching as always. Please comment, like or subscribe. We do value your feedback. Share the video far and wide. Remember, comics aren't just available here. They are available in all good comic shops. Support your local. I was trying to think what upcoming events we have in store and Christmas.
Speaking of Christmas.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Speaking of Christmas, you're obviously going to be buying lots of lovely Christmas gifts. How about a Thor trade paperback featuring Lady Sif?
Oh, we've got one of them, yeah.
There you go then, it's on the shelf.
Perfect. Could have been your pick.
Could have been.
Could have been. You haven't read it though, have you?
No.
That's why. We're out.
Why is Pete doing the impressions when you,
Hello there.
Hello there. You've got
I can't
isn't it?
I can't do English impressions.
Right. The outtake.
Yeah, that can go on the end.
Yes.
That's definitely, yep.